You're now watching the Buds Talk Show, building unique desires.
Here we go. So we're gonna take some of this 223 styrene. Here y'all go right here. We're gonna take some of this. Okay. We're gonna take a paper clip. Now we're building on a budget. I do have some brass tubing and some brass rod. For this particular build though, this is gonna be a hopper, so I want them more sturdy. I'm gonna use a paper clip. Now that's just my theory. I do think the paper clip's a little bit more sturdy. It allows a little bit more play. Versus the brass tubing and the brass rod, it's a little bit more delicate. You're gonna want to, use that more for a show build. Now I will say the brass rod and the brass tubing allows for a more cleaner, slick look. With the paper clip, you're gonna have to do a little bit more work on the door jamb part of the body. So when you're filling this in, you got to do a little bit more work just to fill that all the way in, so you kind of hide that. Other than that, let's jump into this, right? So you're gonna take some of that 223 styrene tubing, right? And I already know what size I'm gonna cut in mind. Now, as far as measurements, I've never done a measurement, but I can go ahead and tell you it's no bigger than it ain't no bigger than, right? Look. See that? It ain't no bigger than going past that one. All right, no bigger than that. Okay, and that's gonna be for our inside panel. Now, I'm doing the hinges the opposite way. Instead of we might get copyright for that, huh? Instead of the hinge being this way and then onto the door, right? We're gonna flip it. Look, right on the bullseye, y'all. Boom. We're gonna flip it so that way the door swings inside, right? It's still inside the pocket, because that's how on the 1983 Cutlass, that's how it opens. That's how the door is supposed to swing open, which is very important. I think that's vital when you're doing your hinges, when you're doing your hinges, your door jambs and all that. Make sure it's done correctly, so that way when you put it out, people have that, oh man, look at that. That's realistic right there. So I've already bit my first L. You want to take that 1 inch, slide that onto that paper clip, or your brass tubing. Like I say, either one works perfectly fine. If you want that cleaner look, go for the tubing and the brass rod. Both are doable. It's just my preference. I do believe that this is a little bit more sturdy. However, like I say, we want to slide that on about halfway, and then we're going to take that corner. We're going to bend that into like an L, right? And then we're going to take this corner. We're going to keep it as close as possible to the tube, right? Just because I believe the correct terminology is zero tolerance. We still want some type of movement, but we definitely want that to lock in to where we have a swing, right? We don't want the door to flap open, and we don't want that. We want some type of neatness to it so that we can open and close it properly. So with that being said, we're just going to come in, close, take your needle nose pliers. I definitely recommend you go to Scale Riders, or you can go to your regular Hobby Town or Hobby Lobby and pick up a pair if they have them. But you get you some super needle nose pliers. These are just kind of like some doable situations, but they have some really good needle nose pliers that'll get that perfect. It's not perfect, but it's damn near right on, just that right turn that you need to provide that 90-degree or 180 angle that you're gonna apply, which is pretty much the method behind this. Obtuse angles, acute angles is kind of the method that I apply when it comes to making my actual hinge. So, as y'all seen, I've bent both of those in. Now, this is cricket. I said cricket. It's sideways. Cricket, not the wireless place. It's off. Stick with me. It's off, right? So, what I usually do is I take this in, or I take this in, depending on how I look at it, because yeah, okay, so this side is a little bit more straight than this side, so I'm going to have to bend this side out just to, you know, straighten that piece out. Y'all can see it, and that's ugly. We don't want that. So I will take this side and bend it upward to even it out, and then I'll come down and bend this. So let me show you guys. And this is unnecessary work. I won't be honest with you guys. Once you've gotten your, see, boom, just needed a little piece and boom. But once you've gotten the correct, you know, toolage and the tubing, this is really unnecessary work. But anyhow, we're gonna take super close in. We're not gonna be up close because we want to leave a little space in between that, because remember, we still gotta have that door go in between that pocket. So we'll just come about right there. Y'all see what I'm saying? And then we'll fold back. So we'll fold towards yourself, right? So you're about right there. You just want to come around. Now, like I say, I'm going to keep reiterating it because I don't want people to think that I don't know what I'm talking about. But that brass tubing and the brass rod situation is a lot smoother when you're bending and, you know, creating a hinge. I recommend it. I'm just doing this the cheap way so you guys can get a better feel of, you know, of just doing the hinge work. As long as you got some tubings and some stuff around you, you can get it done. So we're going to take this, try to match it out with this here. Like I said, remember, we still have to straighten this one out a little bit, which is no issue. But we still have to straighten this one out, and we just want to make sure that that's even. So we'll go ahead and just match it up. Now, I usually mark it with a marker and Sharpie and everything like such. I do have that on hand. I highly recommend you do so. But in this case, I kind of have the visual already, so I'm just kind of flowing with it. I've been doing hinges a while, so I just kind of flow with what the angles I know. So as you see, we've gotten some angles up. We got a boom, boom, straight down, right? Now, keep in mind, a lot of this will be cut off, so a lot of this access will be probably used again. But the hinge will not be going in like this. The hinge will be going in like this, right? The hinge will be going in like this. Okay? So, but keep in mind, too, we still have to do the jam in that piece, in that area there. So, our pieces are going to have to sit like right on that fender, almost. Now, in this case, I'm not going to make y'all sit here and watch me pretty much like, because what I would do is I would take the body off and everything, and on that inside there, once I've measured out the pieces that are going on the actual hinge, I would sit there and like box that in, and I would fill it in, and then apply the actual jam. I guess I can record, you know, a faster version of that, but yeah, that's the method on that. Now, this will sit on the door like such. Boom. So it, like I say, swings inward, as you guys can see. Right? So let's go ahead and finish this hinge out. Now we're going to take this top piece here. I'll go ahead and mark it for y'all. I'm going to take this and we're just going to mark it right there. Now, like I say, I already have the angle in mind, so you pretty much want your angles straight at that 90-degree. All your corners and all your things that you bend right there, you want that at a solid 90. As much as possible. That might be the wrong angle. I'm pretty sure that's the right angle. So, boom. We're going to call this the bootleg tutorial with ChippaTTV. Yeah. So, boom, right? We got both of our hinges, both of our angles bent. And they're pretty much straight. They're evened out. They're both at that angle. They're both at that 90. It's about taking your time. Now, if you look in closely, there's a slight bend here. There's a slight bend here. What I would do, I would mash downward to just inline that piece. And then I would come on this same side and then push downward with this, right? I know that sounds like, what are you doing? But trust me, it will align out and straighten. Now, you want to take these, coming closer in, boom, straighten out at a 90 degree. Now you might can pick it up a little bit and bring it, even it out just a little bit over the tubing, but I brought it under, as you can see, if that makes any sense, right? So you could have brought this piece higher than this, but it's lower, right? So that way your hinge still has time to hit out, right? And swivel out. Alright, so boom. We've got both of them hinged out, right? Now, keep in mind all this is excess, so we can cut this down halfway. We can get rid of that. Boom. Right? We can get rid of that. So, what you need to do now, which I should have done this already. You dig? But I didn't. And we're gonna do it now. You wanna take you some tape. I'm trying to get familiar with the Tamiya yellow tape. Right now I got this blue painter's tape, which honestly is very sticky when you're doing your patterns. It kind of uplifts if you don't let it sit. You know what I mean? It kind of, well, if you let it sit for a while, it kind of starts to get tacky. So, other than that, man, you know, you gotta make do what you do. You dig? So, mask, take that to the door. Woot woot wop. Take that off. Hit them with the woot wop. Alright. Disassemble. Whoop, take that off. Do do. Ah. Doo doo doo. Okay. And then we will boo 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 boo. Get that on there like that. And then we will flip that over, right? So this is kind of the challenging part. This is the part where you have to measure 17 times and then make your glue. You know what I'm saying? So we want to take this. This might be a little bit too big. We might have to make it smaller. But this is how our hinge is going to go in there. Alright? So look at how much fender space we have to work with. Let me show y'all. Show y'all how much fender space we have to work with. Because we want that hinge to open. So boom. That's how much hinge space we have to work with. And then that's how much fender space we have. Right? So we want to make sure that we have all that gap space right there for that door to swing open, right? So, and this is the opposite way of installing the hinge. Usually you would flip this around. That piece would be that way, and then those pieces would be on the door. However, this door is supposed to swing inwards. So, we have that much clearance to work with. I think this is where we do our measurements. This is where we mark, cut, mark, maybe not cut again, just do some more marking. So, let me put y'all down, let me show y'all. Okay, so, I just trimmed down a tab of that, right? Now, I'll probably do another tab, just a small one. Boom. Which is probably too small. But we still got a lot of that to work with. So I would just come back here on my door. Take my marker. Need some water too. Take my marker. Get y'all's water in. Make sure you take your water. Drink your water as much as possible, people. That's what we do. We promote building unique desires and drinking water. So that's probably where our hinge we want it to sit, because we still have a lot of our body and frame to put on, interior tub, and if need be we can get in here and cut some of this, but I doubt it. So we've did our marking. I'm pretty confident that that's where that's gonna go. We don't want it too high. We don't want it too low. And I'll explain why. Well, I mean, simply just because our door is probably going to sit too high and it's probably going to open too low, you know? So, to even it out would be optional. Now, we'll probably adjust it and bring it down a tab. But I think that's exactly where it's going to sit. Boom. So, I think that tube, in order for that tubing to fit, we might have to cut a little bit, trim a little bit down. But we good, right? So we're going to glue that in, let that sit. I usually let mine sit for about an hour or two. Both hinges. I let both hinges sit for about an hour or two. And then I might take the tape off to see how it does. But other than that, I try to leave it to sit. Yeah. So, let's glue that in. And I'll see you on the second.
Part 2 in just a few. Thanks for watching.